Let's now discuss spleen 4, the grandfather-grandson point of the Luo-Connecting points. Spleen 4 is located in the depression distal to the base of the first metatarsal bone on the border of the red and white skin. So how to find this point? When palpating along the border of the red and white skin in the sole and dorsum of the foot, it is on the medial aspect of the midfoot from the proximal towards medial. The base of the metatarsal bone forms a distinct bony prominence. Spleen 4 is located in the depression distal to this prominence at the junction of the shaft and the base of the bone. Spleen 3 is located slightly more distally at the junction of the head and the shaft of the metatarsal bone. Bladder 64 is located in a comparable position on the lateral aspect of the midsection of the foot at the junction of the shaft and the base of the fifth metatarsal bone. Spleen 4 is needled 0.5 to 1 cun vertically or obliquely from medial towards lateral. Caution, this point may be very painful with needle. As for its actions and indication, spleen 4 strengthens and regulates the spleen chi, eliminates dampness. It calms the shen, benefits the heart and chest. It regulates the Chong Mai and the local point, for example, in metatarsalgia. Special features, it is a Luo-Connecting point. It is also the opening or master point of the Chong Mai. It is an important point for distention and pain in the upper and lower abdomen caused by chi stagnation, blood stasis, or obstruction due to dampness. This is a complex point with a very wide sphere of action. Spleen 4 is used for excess patterns of the stomach and spleen, such as retention of dampness in the epigastrium, stasis of blood in the stomach heat, and stomach chi rebelling upwards. It is therefore used to dispel fullness in the epigastrium and to stop epigastric or abdominal pain. Its other functions derive from its relation with the penetrating vessel or the Chong Mai. This vessel is the sea of the 12 channels, as well as the sea of blood. It enters the uterus and regulates menstruation. Spleen 4, by activating and regulating the penetrating vessel, regulates menstruation and stops excessive bleeding, also by reinforcing the spleen function of holding blood. The penetrating vessel goes through the heart, and its syndrome of rebellious chi affects the heart and mind. For this reason, this point can be used for anxiety, mental restlessness, chest tightness, and pain and insomnia. All connecting or Luo points of the yin channel stops bleeding in the appropriate channels. Spleen 4 therefore stops bleeding from the digestive system. However, by its connection with the penetrating vessel, which is the sea of blood, it can stop bleeding from any part of the body. The penetrating vessel also controls all the blood connecting channels. The penetrating vessel's descending branch goes to the arch of the end sole of the foot and then the big toe. For this reason, spleen 4 can treat pain, coldness, and numbness of the feet and problems of the big toe. The minute connecting channels are capillary-like channels distributed superficially throughout the body, and they are branches of the connecting channels themselves. This name would be quite plausible, as the penetrating vessel, of which this point is the opening point, controls the network of minute connecting channels all over the body. In addition, the spleen itself controls the secondary channels through its point spleen 21. Here is an illustration of the minute connecting channels relative to the connecting channel and the main channel. Okay. The book, An Explanation of the Acupuncture Points, has an unusual interpretation of this point's name. It says that spleen 1 pertains to wood, spleen 2 to fire, spleen 3 to earth. Wood generates fire, which generates earth. This can be compared to 3 generations of grandparent, parent, son, or daughter, in which spleen 1 would be a grandparent, spleen 2 a parent, and spleen 3 a son or daughter. Therefore, spleen 4 would be the grandchild. However, following this logic, all points along a yin channel could be called the grandchild, and the text fails to explain why only the spleen channel's fourth point takes that name. Finally, Gongsun was also the name of the Yellow Emperor, so that this point name could be also translated as the Yellow Emperor. This could be a reference to the position of the penetrating vessel as the central, most important of the 8 extraordinary vessels, for which reason it was compared to the father within a family. So to summarize spleen 4 functions, it is an important point for excess patterns of the middle burner, as in fullness and pain. It is also an important point to regulate the intestines for excess patterns, like in fullness and pain. It is the opening point of the penetrating vessel. It calms the mind and opens the mind's orifices for cases such as anxiety, mental restlessness, chest pain, and tightness. It also stops bleeding, especially from the intestines and uterus. It regulates menstruation, especially painful periods. And finally, it benefits feet and toes, like in cold feet, numbness of feet, pain in foot, fungal infection of the big toe.